Hey, Stampers, Diane Divich here with DDStamps.com. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Oh, look, a whole bunch of people. Hello. Yay, people are here on time and people are here. And that's awesome that I can actually see the comments. So yeah, I actually hooked up everything this afternoon to do a little quick run through to make sure I had everything set up as it was supposed to be. As you know, last month I had some issues. So I don't know. I'm hoping this month or last week, I'm hoping this week I don't have as many issues. Hopefully there won't be any lag time. So, Karen, it's good to be back online. Yeah, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. And my biggest issue right now with going online every week is that I make a plan and then I had several hours this afternoon that I didn't really have much going on because I usually in the afternoons take care of my kid's puppy, but puppy wasn't here today. So I had some extra time, and then of course my demonstration changed because that's how it works. My biggest issue is that I'm probably gonna try to show too much, but I try to keep them at an hour so that I'm not taking up your whole evening. Hopefully it will work. So if you have comments or questions, put them in the comments box. I can't see them. I can see them when I'm on, and I'm only on YouTube. I think I did link it to my website, but if you comment on my website, I'm probably not going to see it till afterwards. So if you do want to be a part of the comments, click the link and on my website and jump onto YouTube. Come join us over there and over here, depending on where you are. And so. Hi, Cindy from Wisconsin. Nice to see ya. Hi, Terry. Oh, good, you're here. Okay, so I think last week I told you that we were going to get snow. And of course, 2 days ago yesterday morning, we woke up to probably about a foot of heavy, wet snow. And winter came back. Nice thing is I got my yard raked over the weekend. And when this snow melts, the grass is going to be green. The question is, when is the snow going to melt? They're talking about maybe this weekend. It will get better or get warmer. So anyway, a couple of things. I don't know if you're getting a catalog from me. This is what it looks like. A lot of people were telling me this week that they started getting them. I just want to make sure that I've sent you one if you wanted one, and if you don't have a demonstrator that will send you a catalog, either send me an email, or oh, now the dog's gonna bark. Let me let her out just a second. Come on, let's go. Come on. Sorry about that. She thinks when I'm talking, she didn't go out. She thinks when I'm talking that there's somebody probably in front of me. I don't know. It's like a kid with a telephone. The minute I got on the phone when the kids were little, they all needed me. Oh, good. Diana, you got it yesterday. Great. I did send out the last batch, or I am sending out the last batch tomorrow. Oh, good. You got yours in Florida. That's great. I'm sending out tomorrow the last batch of people that had signed up to get catalogs. Oh, Di. I will make sure you get one. I'll put one in the mail to you tonight, or put it in the mail tomorrow too. So let me write myself a note, because otherwise I'll forget. You should have got one from me, but I'm gonna check. Anyway, I'll get one in the mail to you. Anyone else that wants a catalog, let me know. And if I don't have your address, then you just send me an email. Diane@DDStamps.com. So I think that was it. We're coming down to the last few days of the retiring catalogs, which are 2 of them. I'm actually going to show this one. Nice. This mini catalog is, some of the stuff in here is retiring, and there are some really sweet deals. So you might want to check that out. Some of the stuff is moving on into the new catalog from that catalog. And some of it might even be going to the online exclusives. And then there's this catalog, which is retiring. And both of those post lists are, I think, are up on my website. I'll have to check. But you can actually go into the online store and click specials, and I think it comes up. Yes, Cindy, if you send me your address in an email to Diane@DDStamps.com, and I will get one to the mail to you. So everybody should have a catalog. The catalog is very different. I think when you get it, people are going to be like, whoa, it's like totally different. But I will say that this catalog truly inspired me to get back into stamping and coming back online. So everybody's going to see things a little bit differently. I personally loved everything about it, and I look at it all the time. So, all right, I'm going to flip my screen over. I got lots to show, lots to do tonight. So hang on while I move to the screen. See, and I'm so happy because it's working. last week, I don't know what I did, but it was working, but people were seeing like my camera, you know, all the stuff for my camera on my phone. I don't know how I had it hooked up, but I spent this week doing a bunch of YouTube videos to see what I was doing wrong, and I think I found out. All right, so these are the cards that I did last Friday night at my live, and I just wanted to show you them because, no, Petra. All right, let me let her out just a second. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. There. Now she went out. She's not going to be happy, but anyway, so these are the cards that I did on last Friday on my live, and I actually put them together as cards, and I also added some embellishments. And so let's start with this. So this was, I think this was the one I showed. This was the one I actually did the stenciling on, and then I put it together. I loved this new die set, and all the frames are from that die set. So this one you can see has a stitching around it. And this one is actually two pieces. You cut out and you get two pieces. And so I cut one out in white and one out in Pool Party. This happens to be my favorite color combination right now, which is Calypso Coral and Lost Lagoon. Anyway, and then I wanted you to look at these because this is what I changed today. I added some pearls, and I took these pearls and colored them with my Lost Lagoon blends, and made them coordinate with my card. And I actually did a whole sheet, and I'll show you why in just a second. All right, so that's the stenciled card. Then I did this one where I stamped and I used the stencils. This one I added ribbon. This one I did not. This one I just did a label with some stitching and again some pearls. The difference of these two, I don't know if you can see it, but I flipped my embossing folder, the paper that I embossed. So I stamped it and put the ink on first, and then I ran it through the embossing folder. This one is supposedly the back of the embossing folder, and this one is the front, so it's raised. This one's debossed, and this one's embossed. So just adding those little embellishments just kind of jazzed it up a little bit. And then this was actually my favorite. This one, we did use the stencils, and then white embossed it. And I don't have the dies because I don't know what I guess I do have the dies of this one. No, I don't have the dies of this one. I actually cut this out by hand. I was pretty proud of myself. For some reason I forgot to buy the dies, and I'll order them with these labels are awesome die. They're in the new catalog. Anyway, so those are from last week. I just wanted to show that I actually did complete those cards. And so this is what I was making this week. This is a new stamp set that's coming out in the new catalog. And if I had the name of it, I'd tell you what it is. It is called Layers of Beauty. It is a stamp set that comes stamps, dies, and masks. So I stamp these and then use the different masks in Bubblegum and Lost Lagoon. Imagine that. And I just use bubblegum. And so the masks, there's like 3 for the flowers. So you get that tone on tone, and it just puts more and more color onto it, makes it the shading for you. So this is where I had to make 26 of these for a swap that I'm in on the incentive trip next week. And then after I got it all done, I wanted to put some kind of an embellishment on there but I didn't really know what. And that's when I decided to go with the pearls. And I used the Lost Lagoon, and I just colored them all with the blends because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. And I like to do things in odd numbers. And so I did 3. Then I was like, well, maybe you should do 5, but I decided 3 was more than enough because if I did 5, I'd have to go back in and color some more. So I was trying to use these up. But I'll just pop these in with my other embellishments and use them because I use Lost Lagoon on everything. So these will go great with that. I love pearls and rhinestones and being able to change colors with the blends that coordinates. So I do that with ribbon and I do that with rhinestones and pearls. All right, so this card came from a customer of mine. She sends me a card every month because she places an order and then she sends me a check. And this is so stinking cute that I had to show you guys. And I'm going to start showing them any cards that I get. I'm going to start showing every time I meet at some point. I have a whole stack down in my office. That's why I take my mail to my office at the store and deal with it down there. And this one, my daughter-in-law actually brought, must have been after my surgery I had, and she brought the mail, and this one was at the house. So that's why it's here to show. Really a cute card. Thank you, Leanne. I love this. If she's not watching tonight, she's probably going to be here tomorrow to watch it, the recording. But just a fun, really fun card. The gnomes are cute. I think they might be retired. All right. So one of the things I showed last week was this Memories and More. It could be a scrapbook. It could be a gift card book. It could be just a book to give somebody to tell them how much you love them. And I had some people contact me afterwards that wanted to know how I made it. And I tried to make a video this week of how to make it. And I didn't, I made the video, but I didn't post it on YouTube because it was such a mess. My whole desk was full of stuff. And I just tried to do it fast one night for a friend of mine who wanted to see it. And so I thought, well, tonight I'm going to show how I did it. And hopefully I won't be such a discombobbled. I don't know. It was a mess. But anyway, what I'm using the Memory or More cards in the mini catalog. These are actually on sale. So you get the Sweet Thoughts Memory and More's card pack. It's 40% off. It's a screaming deal. And then the Sweet Thoughts Memories and More's cards and envelopes for 20% off. And you can make a lot of projects. So this actually uses like 3 envelopes, 2 cards, and I used a couple extra things of cardstock. So I used a peacock, calypso coral, crushed curry, and I just had 1 sheet of each of those for this. But then you open this up, and inside the pockets are more things, and you can put pictures or just nice things to say about people. It could be a journal if you needed a journal for something, but each pocket has a cute card that totally coordinates with everything. So the only thing, like I said, the only thing I added to this was the 3 sheets of cardstock and some ribbon. Oh, here, I'll show you this one. And then this card. Now, I'm not going to show this whole project being made, but I'm going to show you how I put it together. And then I also decorated the back. These are not cards, they're just the back of it. And then it all closes, folds up, and you tie it with a ribbon to keep it together. And this gingham ribbon is one of my favorites, and it actually is on sale too. And I'm going to use it on a couple projects tonight. But it's on sale, and it's going to be retired. So, like I said, good thing I have a table here to try to keep me organized. I used 3 envelopes from the pack. I love these envelopes because they're so pretty. I mean, it's calypso coral and peacock. And then the card bases, so they're a little bit bigger than the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. They're a little bit bigger, but the envelopes are the same, fit them. I love that. Look at that paper. So pretty. And I just really need 2 of these. And, oh my gosh, I left my cutter in my other room. Hang on 1 minute. Ask a question in there. So much for being organized. I actually took the cutter out of here at about, oh, I don't know, it was probably 6 o'clock. I was just kind of waiting to had my phone hooked up to make sure that it was working. And I didn't want to disconnect it because it was working. And so I thought, well, I don't know what I'll do. I had to go around and shut all the Wi-Fi stuff off so that that didn't mess up my anything. And then I started another project out in the other room. Anyway, I've got my cutter now. So I took those card bases and I just cut them in half. And that's the part that I put inside there. But to begin with, I am going to, hi Joy, Montana is snowy. It's very snowy. So when you put these together, you glue your envelopes together. And you actually can score it so you can see where the line is. So you're going to just add adhesive right along the edge there. And those 3 envelopes get put together like that. Now I am going to use multi-purpose glue. I did this the other night. When I was doing it for my friend, I actually stuck everything to my piece of scratch paper here in front of me. Because I put too much glue. All right, so using the green glue, as you know, you have room to move, to set things up. But when it moves, that's when you end up getting glue all over. So that you're going to just glue it so the flap is on the back like that. And then I'm going to do this side. Oh, I wouldn't have done this normally. Can you look at that and tell me what I might have done differently? Because every mistake is just a reason for creative adjustments. I would have put these every other one instead of 2 of the same, but it doesn't matter because when this is all put together, nobody's really going to notice except me and you, because I told you. All right, so you're gonna glue those together and then you're gonna let that dry. And through the magic of television, ta-da! I did this one last night. Now I took my flap here, this flap. That's this little score line. You can leave that flap because these could actually come in and then this could flap around. However, it just got too bulky for that flap. And so I bend it backwards and glue it to the back of this one. Oh, look, I even decorated that already. Okay, so you got that glued down there. So that is the base of this little mini album. Now, so I'm just gonna grab some pieces. So this is my card base that I'm probably gonna slide into this one. And then I have these pieces that I've cut, and I just kind of put them in a pile. So this here, I believe it's 4 1/4 by, let me grab I should have had the measurements written down. All right, so it's 6 1/2 by 4 1/4, scored at 3 1/4. And that is the perfect size for these 3 by 4 cards that are going to go on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm probably not going to use green glue for this because when I say green glue, I mean mono adhesive. We just called it green glue because it's green. And put this together. So there's my very first base. I'm going to use this card. So you get a whole bunch of these cards. You get tons of cards. I mean, you get like this card. I don't have them all out here because I used a bunch of them. But you end up with 2 of each and they're double-sided. So some have words and some do not. But I really like this piece here. I'm not going to use this piece necessarily for this particular page. So if I come in here and I'm going to cut off just enough so I can save this because I can probably use that for something else. And then I just have this little piece here. And I'm going to add this to the bottom of this just because I thought those were so pretty and I didn't want to mess up. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add this to this card base. And I could actually put another card inside or just a note or whatever. Actually, I could actually cut this and put it in there. and have You Can Do Hard Things going up the side of it, which would be kind of cool. All right, so that's how you do a page. It's very simple. This is a page I did last night. So it's basically the same concept. I used the base, a piece of a card, and then this flips open. This is 8.5 by 3.25, scored at 4.25. So that one's done. And then this one I did last night too. And I haven't put anything on the inside, and I probably will. But I just wanted you to see how you can do that. And then I would bring in my album and slide these in there. The hardest part for me making this was deciding which side of the card to use and on which page to use it, which shouldn't be that hard. All right, so then you have these three, which, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love those colors together. So I'm going to put this on here. Oh, I'm covering up that. See, that's what happens to me. I'm like, oh, wait, why are we covering up that? Okay, so that's going to go on there. Oh, I'm going to put this one inside here. This card just says, do what makes your soul happy. I'm going to put this one on the inside of this. You Are My Sunshine. These would be so cute, though, with pictures of kids on there, or babies. And then this one, so you kind of, oh. Shoot. Am I still live? My kid called. Sorry about that. I thought I had my phone shut off. Hannah called me. So I don't know what happened to the screen. I'm assuming it went blank, but anyway, so these cards are just like I said. The hardest part is deciding which side to use. I'm going to put this. She keeps calling me. I'm busy. I can't even text her to tell her. She knows I do things on Thursday nights. But when I talk to her, she's going to say, oh, I forgot. All right, so once I've done that, I do plan to use this piece. And I do plan to use, see, I have another one of these. So this was a card that was, you know, as big as this, and I cut it in half. And then what I do on here is I just add a little bit of something to make this pocket really stand out. And this can go anywhere. But I really love this color. There's something about this paper. So I'm going to cut this in half. This is 4 by 6. So I actually have 2. And like, I'm going to glue this one. So I'm just going to put adhesive along this edge. I'll use this stuff so it dries quickly. So you just want to make sure that you don't get adhesive onto your pocket or onto the card that I put inside the pocket. Okay. I'll use this one. I think oops. No, if this had been green glue, I would be covered. So I'm just going to put that one there. And then this is going to get added on. Super simple. Onto the front of that. This one's going to get added on. I just have a couple more things. See, I wasn't going to get carried away and do all of these, but once I start, it's like so much fun. Let's see, what do I got? I'll use this one. Oh, I think I need so many reasons to smile to stick out. Oh well. See, that's what happens. Then I'm like, well, It's not going to work. So that's going to go there. And this is going to go on here. And then to top it all off, what I did with mine is I took this piece and I cut them all separately. And I just use these like along the bottoms or on the inside pages. I'll show you on my... All right, so I'm going to show you here. So on this one, you can see there's the wonderful. So I just cut the strip and cut it down to fit over the fabulous. Then the back, I have, this came from some card. You are nothing short of amazing. So I probably used that. And then you get stickers with this kit too. So like you don't have enough. I mean, there's tons of stuff. So they're foil stickers, and then there's just several sticker sheets, 2 of each. And I use them, like I covered up, where this one says the details, I covered it up, it says love you to pieces. This one said picture perfect, I covered it up and put happy. Just using some of the stickers. The paintbrush, I think the paintbrush in one of these was, oh, that's not a sticker. Anyway, you get the idea. So these are just really fun books to make. Be fun to do with kids, grandkids. Then add a bunch of pictures of your that you have, because everybody has pictures on their phone and nobody's seeing them. So it's time to get those pictures back into scrapbook pages. All right. Oh, good. Terry's gonna make one. Would make a great hostess gift. It would be a really fun hostess gift. I'm interested to see what kind of memories and more cards we get for Christmas time. Not that I want to push that yet, because we still have snow. But I just think a memories and more Christmas little album would be fun. And I still have tons. I think you get 20 cards and 20 envelopes. So with my extra cards, I can still make cards if I choose to, or I can use those for stamp bases. Oh, okay. All right, so I don't know what happened when my daughter called, but my screen went blurry. I don't know. Just a second, let me get a drink. I don't know if your screen went blurry, but hopefully she remembers now that I'm actually in doing a live. All right, so now of course the dog wants in. I'm going to quick show. These are my cards for this month. The tutorial. This is Pretty in Pink, which is a in color that is actually coming back. It used to be in our line. It's now coming back. This is using all of the various in colors. Shy Shamrock, Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, and Summer Splash. My favorite. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I saw too, Terry. This one is Summer Splash. It's one of my favorite colors. Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, and Petunia Pop. So you place an order with me this month, you get the tutorial for those cards. If your order's over $50 in the beginning of, or in the middle of May, no way, man, it's May. In the middle of May, you'll get a packet of products to do that with. So, all right, so the next projects that I'm showing, this is a technique. And I will tell you that I had a plan. I was going to do techniques. I was going to use this stamp set because it's on the retiring list. And after I got my cards put together, I went and looked, and it's actually gone. It's retired. So, it's a great set. And that's all right. What I'm going to do can be done with another set that I'm going to show. And so I'm just using some basic white cardstock. And because I can't seem to get enough of these brushes and ink, you'll be happy that I changed up my colors today. I'm actually going with Melon Mambo, Flirty Flamingo, and Pumpkin Pie. And how I picked those colors is I looked up to my left, which my inks are, and they were all 3 in a row together. And I thought, oh, okay, we'll use those. I'm going to use my craft mat to put ink to paper for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's kind of got, it doesn't move. So my cardstock, when I put my cardstock down there, it's not taped down, but it doesn't move very much. The other thing is that I can put ink on here. I like to get ink on my brush and then ink it onto the mat and then pull it onto my card so I don't get any big blotches. And this is washable. The only thing you have to worry about is this little logo right here. Says Stampin' Up. And if you brush your cardstock over that, I think that you would get something that said Stampin' Up on your card, which would be kind of cool. But anyway, so I got some Melon Mambo ink, tap it off onto my mat, and then I'm going to brush it on. And the nice thing is I can pick up that ink off the mat, so I can still use it. I'm not wasting it. But I usually start when I do some brushing is off my cardstock on whatever side, it doesn't matter, and bring it towards the middle or up towards the... And really, it's all about how much ink do you want on your cardstock. Obviously, I want a lot. I'm going to flip this around. And the reason that I do that is because I'm going to come in with pumpkin pie. And I truly don't want my pumpkin pie to get into that Melon Mambo that's on this craft mat. Because, oh, wait, I need to do this. It'll just change it up. Not that it would matter. I think it'd probably be fine, but... So I'm, again, pumpkin pie. And really, it's all about the pressure. It's all about how much pressure you put on your brush, onto your cardstock, how much ink you have. And you just do it until you're happy with the color that you got. And it's better to put light layers on than dark layers. You can always add more. All right. So there's the pumpkin pie. And then I'm coming in with Flirty Flamingo. I'm getting ink all over my hands. This time I'm going to flip this over. Again, I don't want orange. I don't want pumpkin pie in my Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to tap it off and then brush this in. It's a really light color. I probably need to, oh no, there we go. Probably need to re-ink my ink pads because I've been doing a lot of using the brushes with a lot of them lately. And it's just time. It's always time. Your ink pads are better off if they have ink in them. All right, so there's that. It's very pretty. It truly looks prettier than in person, I think, than on the screen. Then I'm going to take water. So I'm just using a little spray bottle that I had in my stamp room. And I'm dropping, you can drop as much or as little as you want. You'll see this start to... What happens is the water hits that ink and it makes it spread out. We're going to do a lot. I really like this technique. You see that? Oh yeah, you guys can see it. And then I'm going to take a piece of paper towel. This is just sopping up the water that was left on there, and then you get these great water spots. So this would look cool with any colors of stamps, anything you have. While I'm here, I'm going to wipe this off. And I know I told you that I just use like these chamois that I get at the auto parts store. That's what happens when you own the auto parts store. Then you start taking stuff home from there to stamp with. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I think we're still... Oh yeah, we're still good. All right, so the only thing you want to do with this piece is you want to make sure that before you do anything else to it, as far as stamping goes, that it's dry. And so all these spots where I put water are wet. I gotta let her in. Sorry, I can't have the neighbors mad at me. She won't last very long, I'm sure. Anyway, so you want to make sure that this dries and before you do any stamping on it. But I'm going to show you what I did with it today because this piece was dry. So I took this piece, I actually cut it down, and I stamped it with the stamp set that I was going to use, the Biggest Wish. And I just used Memento ink. So I haven't really done anything with this except that I do want to do some stuff to it. And I wanted to mount it with white behind it and black behind it. I think that's going to look good. I'm going to put this aside because I will make something with that later. So I'm going to come in and just layer that onto some basic white. And then show you a little trick with your ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow on this one. So when I tie a bow, and I'm just going to do it on this layer, I use 4 lengths of the card, the width of the card, depending on how I'm going. If I'm, going across or up and down, it's 4 lengths for a bow. 2, 3, 4. That's how I get out of measuring. Or if you just want to do a knot, which I'll probably do in the next card, it's just 3 lengths. And so this will give you enough to come around your card, tie a bow, when you're tying a bow, you want to just hold down one side and pull the other, and your knot will stay nice. I always forget, but so you can see I have just enough. Now I'm going to come in with my nice ribbon cutting scissors, which I don't let many people use. Stampin' Up! Had these a few years ago, and they're like the best. I only use them to cut ribbon. It was a running joke in my family for a long time. And then, that just adds something to that card. And then I'm going to come in, and when I put my cards together, I usually put adhesive on either side of the ribbon because I kind of want it to stay where I put it. Let's move this out of the way. So there you go. And I had something, I had these gems. So I found these gems too. Today, you can tell today I was in my stamp room cleaning stuff out. These are retiring too, but I liked the colors of them. They weren't gems, but they're clear. But I thought they'd be kind of fun because they'll pick up whatever color. And they kind of look like bubbles of water. So like I said, I do things in odd numbers. So I'm going to do 5 on this one because what the heck, I might as well use them up. So there's the card completed. And you can see it's got a little bit of bling. But I just really like that background. And you could do this with any colors of ink. They'll all kind of blend in together. So that's kind of fun. All right. Now, move this out of the way. I'm bringing this back in. And I'm going to show you a different technique. Actually, I have this technique, and then I have another sponging technique that I think is kind of cool. This particular technique I learned from a demonstrator in the UK. And he did this the other night on his YouTube. So I'm taking this piece, and I'm actually going to cut it into strips, 1/2-inch strips. I'm going to cut the whole piece. This was just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. And I'm not convinced that those wet spots are dry yet, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get the idea. And then I actually put one together this afternoon, kind of, that I'm just going to put and finish up to get, that I'm going to finish up. All right. Getting down to the end here. Put that there. All right, so those are my pieces that I need for this. Then I'm going to take, this is just another piece of basic white. I'm going to actually cut this one down now, and I'm probably going to cut it down again, but I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 by 4, because that's usually about the size that I use on cards that I'm making. So for this technique, you're going to go ahead and run adhesive. I want to make sure there's some on the ends here. So I'm going to run that adhesive, and then I'm going to take my strips, and I'm going to put a strip right along the edge of the card there. And then the next one, I'm going to flip around. And so, butt them up together. And I'm going to go all the way across my card like that. I scooted that one out of the way because it's not a complete 1/2 inch. So, just keep going. Keep swimming. It's just kind of a, I mean, people think you really worked hard at this. The hardest part is making sure they get butted up against each other. And then this one. Once I've done that, I'm just going to, you could use a scissor, but I'm actually going to cut it with my cutter. And I am going through 2 layers of cardstock. So you want to give it a little bit of pressure. But you're just going to trim your edges. Let's see. I think I'll take it to 5. And I just balled up my, I don't know what happened there, but probably too much adhesive and too much cardstock. It's all right. You can just cut one and then come back in and cut it again. That will cut your edge off. So you've got your base for any kind of card that is, I just think that's so cool. All right. So what I did was, I'm going to bring it in because I want to show you how I did this. And I'm probably going to use the same. I'm going to use my stamp positioner because I'm going to use black ink, and I want in these bold stamps, and I want to make sure that they that I get a really good impression. So I think I'll put thanks down here, and I might just do thanks, and that's it. So I'm going to line that up, pick it up with my stamp positioner. I will tell you today, so when I use this, I make sure it stays up in the corner every time I stamp. I re-inked my Memento pad after I was stamping today, so this is probably pretty dark. Just going to stamp that down. Pull it off gently. Oh, it's pretty good. Now the reason that I'm going to do it twice only is because I'm actually stamping on those layers of cardstock, and so some of it you can see the line. As long as I line it up, back up in that corner, this will stamp exactly in the same spot. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'll get it up closer, but you can see I was able to stamp and not have white where the letters are stamped in the ridges of that cardstock. I don't like this top part here. So I'm just going to come in with this one I did earlier. Same thing, same technique. This one's all cut and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put something together with this, and I will put this one together later. So I'm going to add some adhesive. This one I'm going to layer onto black cardstock. I'm going to come in with my gingham ribbon 4 times. 1, 2, no, I'm going to do 3 because I want to do a knot. I'll show you a little tip on a knot. put pictures of these two up on my website. I don't know if it'll happen tonight. No, it won't happen tonight, but it might happen. It'll happen over the weekend. I can guarantee that. That's about all I can guarantee. All right, so when I do a knot, I'm coming through with the hoop, and this is where I just hold one of the tails. So I'm holding that tail down, and I'm pulling this one. And what happens when I do that is this knot stays nice and flat. It doesn't twist. Sometimes if you pull both, you get a twisted knot. This will make it stay nice and flat. In with those ribbon scissors. Trim that off. See, I'm beginning to get a mess. Adhesive. Again, I'll put some adhesive so that the ribbon will stay in the area I want it. And I'm going to put this onto white cardstock. And I'll show you the difference. Just a different look. It's a cool technique. And then on the black, on the card that has the black, I'm actually going to put a piece of white inside of it. And then, hey, I got this extra piece. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take this. I think there's some other pieces. Oh yeah, there are. Here. I'm just going to put this right along the edge of this card on the inside. I don't know if I'm missing any comments. Okay. Anyway, so that finished that card off. I like that on the inside because it pulls it all together. And then on this one, I could do the same thing. I do have some pieces here that I could take and add some adhesive. To the inside. And that finishes off that card. Anyway, I just thought this technique was really cool. I loved the sponge. I love the blending brushes with the water because it adds some cool texture. And then cutting it up into pieces, and you could cut them up into anything. You can cut them up into any size pieces. Just kind of fun. And so, oh, I just got... So you know that little bottle of water that I had? Yeah, I didn't actually put the cap on and it dumped over. Let me clean up my mess here before it gets into my lake there. So I really got this one wet. It'll dry out. I'll put it under a book. But you see what it did here? See how it pulled those edges? Kind of cool. You like that? I really like those half inch strips. All right. I got one more blending brush technique to show. I just want to make sure I got the water cleaned up. Just 1 week. I'd like something to go with no problems. All right. So I need a piece of cardstock. I'm going to use my mat because I'm going to do some blending. I'm going to lay that one on there because that card's piece of, this is just basic white that I'm using. And then I'm using a piece of copy paper. Yeah, those edges do look like they're torn and they're moving. They're still moving. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like, you know, by tomorrow, because they'll keep moving as long as that water is moist. All right, so what I'm going to do with this is just a piece of copy paper, a scrap paper, and I'm going to tear it. We haven't done like this kind of stuff for a while. And on this one, I'm going to add it onto here. And this one is probably going to go on there. I don't really want them to match. Didn't want it to be matchy-matchy. All right, so once I've got that there, I actually am going to tape these papers down because I don't want them to move. Well, I don't. Does it matter? You know how I am. I would just say, oh, look at that. It's homemade. It's not always going to be perfect. But I had the blue tape here for a reason, so I'll use it. All right. Oops. I don't really want that to go into. See how I am? I'll pull that off. And then I'll tape this down. And then we'll pretend like that's exactly what I wanted to do. All right. So I'm coming in again with my blending brushes. I'm going to use the exact same colors because they're out and stuff is here. Homemade is best. Pumpkin pie. Let's start with Melon Mambo. See, now I don't even have a spot to tap off. Oh well, that's all right. I have tape. It'll work. Coming in on the side again. On these pieces of copy paper, I do want to be a little bit careful because those torn edges are pretty flimsy. So there's that. And then we'll come in with pumpkin pie on the other side. All right. And then we'll come in with Fleur de Flamingo. And what I'm doing with this is I really want to make sure I kind of blend the colors into each other. So you don't really see the line. It just kind of blends in. They all blend in together. Good enough. Close my ink pads before I dump water on them. I'm going to take off my tape. You can see. All right, so there is the part that I have used the blending brushes on. Then I'm going to come in with my stamp positioner. Again, put that up there. I'm going to take this one off. And I'm going to come in this time with Inked and Tiled. This is one of those stamp sets that when it first came out was one of my absolute favorites. I love it. We are going to use it tonight with this card. We're going to try and make a card that is fairly simple to do. Just make a thank you. It's not going to have a whole lot. I'm hoping that's straight. Pick this up. Oh, I don't need to have this in there. That's why. So when you're using your rubber stamps, I'm just going to straighten this one out a little bit. There's a grid on it, on this part, that you can actually see to help make it straight. So when you're using your rubber stamps, you don't need this piece in there because the rubber's thicker. And the reason, again, why I'm doing it in my stamp positioner is only because I want this to be bold black. And if I have to ink it up more than once, it's easy to line up. I'm going to stamp that down. See where I missed it right there? That's why I use a stamp positioner. There's actually ink on that. I just didn't press down on that side. So I'm going to come back in, do a little better job of pressing down. I didn't even notice the thank you. Was it straight? Awesome. Oh, Donna just said, Make sure you like the live stream so it gets pushed out to more people. Thank you. Yeah, please do. I'm going to let this dry a second. I would appreciate that. I think that's all I'm going to do to it. And then I'm going to add it to a black card base. Because I happen to have, I don't know, I guess this week I'm into black card bases. I got little pieces of paper everywhere. I'm going to cut that. What did I forget? Did I forget anything tonight? I don't think I'm going to do much to this card, except maybe a little bling. So this one, actually, this is the size of a card. I'm going to trim it down. It's a good thing I have this little table next to me here so I can... All right, so I'm just going to take 1/4 of an inch off this side. 1/4 of an inch off of this side. And add some adhesive. I should have made this a sympathy card because I desperately need one. Been a tough week here in Red Lodge. All right. I don't even think I need to add any ribbon. However, you never go wrong with adding a little bling, and I got it here, so. I'll just add 3. Anyway, there is your card. So there is just some sponging, or I keep saying sponging and it's not really. It's, thank you, Veronica. It's actually blending brushes. It's a little blending technique. So just 3 different techniques. One with water, one with copy paper, and one with water, and cut into 1/2-inch strips to make your cards. All right, that's it. Yay, I did it. Anyway, I think we actually did it. We did it within an hour, and we did it without too much, thanks Terry, without too much mistakes. Or we had a couple of blurry spots because my daughter called. Thank you, Karen. Does anybody have any questions? I will be going live again next Thursday. And then the following week I will not, because I'll be in Mexico on the incentive trip. Yay! I'm taking my kids with me, Andrew and his wife and Hannah. Thanks, Diana. I love those techniques. I hope that you try them. And if you do, send me a picture or send me an email or make a comment or do something. I'd love to see them. I will get them posted up on my Facebook page for sure. Probably, I don't know, maybe tonight. I can probably take pictures right here and then get them up there. But anyway, if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask. If you need a catalog, if you don't have a catalog, you don't have a demonstrator, send me an email with your name and address and I will get it sent out to you. And the gingham ribbon is being discontinued. It's still available, but it's being discontinued. They're bringing in a different gingham with, I think it's going to have beige. I think it's beige and black. Because, they have a new color called Basic Beige. So they have to bring in some ribbon to coordinate. Down in the description on YouTube, there's a link to my paper share. If you want to be a part of that, that's where I buy all the papers in the catalog, and then you buy a share, whether it's 1/4 of a share or 1/2 of a share. Depends on how much it costs, and I split them all up and package them up and send them off to you. There's a link down there in the description. There's also a link to my In Color Club, which is a club that runs 5 months, and each month you get a different ink color. So you get the ink, the refill, half a package of cardstock, the designer series paper, marker, what else? Ribbon, 1/2 a spool of ribbon. Anyway, there's information down there, so go check it out. It's a great way to get the ink colors over the next few months. All right, if nobody has any questions, please give me a thumbs up, a like. I appreciate that. And I will speak to you next week. If you ever have any problems or questions or concerns, don't ever hesitate to call or email me. Sounds good. All right, folks, I am going to sign off. So I will speak with you later. Thanks. Bye.